Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another replay coaching video. Today we're going to be going over a viewer of ours that is currently in the bronze rank who just didn't really understand a lot of what was going on. Maybe he didn't really understand what was happening in these rank games that would like kind of hold him back. So we're going to be, kind of coming on here to help. I have a stream that's going to be tonight around 7:45 to 8 o'clock EST. The night that this video is going up. So if that is something that you want to do and you want to go be a part of, then make sure you go ahead and follow the Twitch. That'll be linked down below. We also have a Discord server that is also linked down below that has a plethora of people that are super duper kind and fun and awesome, and they love helping people. So if that's something that you're interested in, join our community. We'd love to have you. Anyway, the player that we're going to be going over is actually going to be Skeleton Key, who is playing Magik. This is going to be on the New York map. Starting out, let's go ahead and just take like a moment to kind of look at this positioning. And while I do not hate this as much as people might think, on this character specifically, I prefer holding this room up here, just because of when people round this corner, you're a lot less obvious and it's a little bit easier to go over here. It's also a little bit harder for people to, unless they go under, which your team would see because of where they're standing, be able to take this area for free, right? This would be a lot harder than taking up here, which they have this ramp. Somebody could dash up here. I mean, we can see obviously that they currently have a Venom as well as a Magik of their own, so they can take this area pretty easy and make it a 2v2 or 2v1, which is pretty rough. Also, just based off of like where is our team standing, our Star-Lord is down here. While he can fly up here, it's going to be a very, very hard time. You can get reaction killed up here if they're very quick. Just moving forward. In this rank in bronze, they're probably not going to punish this as much, so it's not nearly as big of a deal in my opinion as something else. Okay. Okay, we'll talk about this really quick. I actually really like this a lot more than some might think. While I do think it's a little bit risky because, I mean, let's just, like, look where are we in comparison to, like, one, our team, and two, their team, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this person will inevitably turn around and see you. Killing Magik with a one-shot combo is not super duper easy just because she can reactionarily portal, but I do enjoy this because she's down a cooldown and you're up 3. So you're up a cooldown at this point, right? So she's down a demon. So you know for a fact that she does not have that portal. Dropping down here and just kind of swinging on her, it's going to be pretty good. You're going to get a bit of free damage in. The issue that I run into is you can face the problem of like a penny web. Bucky can shoot you. Again, this is bronze elo, so you know right now this might not be a big punish, but in the future as you climb, even in gold, people might reactionarily see this, and then their aim is a little bit better, and they might shut you down, And already you get fairly close to death. But I like you not engaging with a cooldown here, because you're actually able to save it, and because of that, you're able to disengage and get out, which is great. Placing the demon, and I like this disengage. Very good. You're down the cooldowns. We need to back up. Very, very good. Okay, playing up here with the Thor. Okay. Okay, so right here, this is where things start to get a little shady, right? This is where we talk about, like, we need to start pressing tab in between every team fight whenever we're engaging, because as we fell off the cart, I don't know if people noticed, but at the top right of the screen, we actually saw that Psylocke and Mantis both fell. So we're down a healer, which is a big no-no. Especially because now, no matter what, we will not have this defensive ult. There's no room for that to ever happen in this team fight in any capacity, right? And also, Rocket is our second healer, and while I don't have a problem with Rocket as a character, I think that he's a fine character, in this situation, he's probably going to want to back up as well. Because the res, as you can see, has already been used. There is no res to be had. So, and also he's being fought. The issue now as well is whenever we go and press tab, we are just straight up losing this fight. Bucky just got some kills. At the top right, he's already at 61%. And this is probably a dead Thor. So because we didn't press tab and we came around this corner, we are now engaging on this team, but our death is kind of already sealed in stone. Magik reaction gapped us, and then she can see. Thor tries to intercept, and she just ends up getting out. So this could have gone really bad. Let's see, how do the supports kind of deal with it? You actually lived, which is great. It's fantastic. But realistically, this probably shouldn't really happen. But we get very lucky, which is good. Okay. It's a very scary situation. We actually end up getting out again. Okay, not bad. This is kind of a thing I want to talk about a little bit big time though. So I see a lot of people saying, oh, you know, my team's in bronze, you know, this, that, and the third, right? But let's be entirely realistic here, right? So this Bucky pulls, and I just an optics thing, right? Outside looking in what real world as you climb the ranks will this be acceptable, right? The pull and then this person lives. You do die, but it has nothing to do with this pull for the most part. And you actually get away fairly free. The actual biggest thing is that you get reactioned by the invisible... Whoa. That was a bit crazy. You get reactioned by the invisible woman, which is the most of the reason why you died, and the magic chased really heavy. But your death... We already went over 3 situations where you probably should have died if we were in a higher elo. So these kinds of things, I want you to like really take into consideration a pathing choice. Right here, turning back, you're kind of giving yourself your location away. Again, we're pressing tab. Let's look around. You know, our team is still coming off spawn. 1, 2, 3, and this guy's leaving as well, right? So I like the idea of dying quickly, but I don't think the intention was there for this kind of thing, you know? But you did live a little bit longer than we should have. But now we're running into the issue of because we stayed so long, and because we ended up showing ourselves, now we are late again. We made this another 5v6, and by the time we come back, based on how our team is playing, we probably have another 5v6 or a 4v6 off spawn, assuming that nothing changes, right? Okay. Very big. Psylocke ends up picking up a kill. Make sure that we're seeing. Bucky ends up whiffing the ult. So our team actually is able to clutch up a little bit, which is great. You know, very unexpected given the situation. It's awesome. Magik fumbles the kill on the Mantis, which is weird. Big kill. That's not bad. Okay. I like this. That was pretty decent. I enjoy that you're playing with your tanks. I think a little bit more of a selfish dive could be something pretty good too. Because I like the play that you did at the start, just the timing was a little wonky, but... Okay. I like that you're holding your dash cooldown though, you're not just like straight up using it for no reason, right? Okay, we're kiting backward. Okay, still kiting. Big uppercut. Okay. Okay. So, real quick, this is another situation of, like, we had a couple seconds to, like, disengage, right? So, this is one of those things where we're, like, we need to be pressing tab and being like, what resources, what utility do we have here? Like, manpower. Who's all on the front line, right? Because both of our tanks fell fairly early in comparison to, like, what's going on right now, right? They're both on a cooldown, and they're both on a timer. Groot is still dead, and Thor's just now coming out of spawn. So... the issue that we're going to run into now is because we kind of overstayed after the team fight was lost. Both tanks are dead, right? If we're not ulting, then there is no fight, you know? So, this is a big issue. Mantis is also off spawn. Again, no support ult. She's still only at 70% because if we press tab, she doesn't have it, right? This is kind of a fight. This is you're fighting a fight with no dog, you know? Like, there's no... You got no dog in this fight anymore. There's no reason for you to be here at this point. I think falling off, if we go ahead and just take a look, right? Let's look how far back Thor is actually dead, right? So, right here, after the magic ults, you know, Venom ults, Thor falls, immediately Mantis falls, and Groot is going to die soon after. There it is, the Groot death. Now let's just look how long do we actually have before we're put in a situation. We have a lot of time to run, actually, and we have 3 ways to do it. This way, this way, this way. All 3 of which were presented here. We had ample opportunity for all 3 of them, right? So I think that, for sure, you overstayed here, and then we really need to start, like, getting into the habit of not being late for these team fights, because when you're late to the team fight, this is a very, very team-heavy oriented game, especially with the way that you're playing up with your tanks. Because we're not diving as much, you're not ever going to give yourself the opportunity to, you know, get in there and start actually working on it and doing some damage, right? So now we're dead, and now take a look at this. If we hit tab again, they're going to get this point for free. And while Venom might die here, we don't know his cooldowns, obviously. Psylocke is on Death's Door, and it's very, very scary. Now if she dies, we have 2 people on a stagger. We really don't want that, obviously. Okay. So now they take the point. They get it fairly free, and then we're going to be a little bit late. Taking just a little quick look. Let's look at our pathing. Yeah, look how far we are now, because we ended up dying so late, right? So now it's a 5v6 for, you know, a good 8 seconds. That's a pretty long time. And again, because of this, our team is ending up, you know, we're down a person at this point. We pop the Mantis ult. So now this is the same thing, right? Okay. So take a look. We press tab, right? And we have 2 deaths and 1 person coming off spawn, right? Who is all the way back here. Rocket is also very, very far, but look at where we are, right? So now, rather than dying early, I want you to, like, kind of think of it this way, right? If 5 people on your team are going to die, you might as well be dead with them, right? It's better to all be at the same area at the same time than die later because we're doing, like, I don't think that's what your intention was, but a hero play, right? Where we are overstaying for some reason because we think that we can make a lot of value out of it, but in all actuality, what ends up happening is, you know, we kind of dive back, Bucky cocks back, and then immediately, what are we now? We're staggered for another 10 seconds. This is really, really rough, and we're just giving free space. So definitely, for sure, I think there's a conversation to be had about, like, how, like, looking at the kill feed and being aware, we need to press tab every fight, like clockwork. Like, if you're going into a fight and you're like, do I engage here? Tab, what do we have? If everyone's alive, okay, cool. Next question, what CDs do we have? Do we have a support ult? Do I have a magical? You know, because remember, because we're late to all these fights now, we've held our magical for 3 fights, right? This is 3 fights and 3 deaths that we've had where we've just had the magical and we haven't been able to get any value from it. It's a big, big, big problem. And now if we look back again, your team is pushed back and Mantis is borderline dead, right? So now because it's a 5v6 again, because we're late, he's also dead. They catch Venom, which is a very, very, very big plus, right? Okay, here we are again. So let's look at our pathing off spawn, right? Okay, you helped with the big kill on the Venom, which is great. All right, real quick, right? Really, really fast. We are, like, fairly certain that if they have support ult, it's Cloak and Dagger. What do we do here? Okay. This needs to be an ultimate, and here's why, right? So I'm going to wait for you to get over here on this right side, and we'll talk about this, right? Okay. So, real quick. 1, regardless of if they do have a Cloak and Dagger ult here, this needs to come out now, because you have enough distance right here to the point where your team can actually follow up on this Venom kill. So it's either they have the Cloak and Dagger ult, and they push, and then we stronghold it and hold, or they keep that Cloak and Dagger ult, and now we are fighting with the issue of now Invisible Woman has an ult on the next rotation, and Cloak and Dagger still has their ult, and they just home run that shit all the way to the end, right? Never want that. This is a very, very big situation to be in. You need to ult now, so that way they either pop the ult or they die, one of the two, and then your team moves in with you, right? And I know, like, people are going to be like, oh, it's bronze. They're not going to do that. This is where you yell and you're like, hey, move up or you're trash. And if they don't move up, this is the right play. And assuming that somebody does move up, it's great. But also, this is a really, really good opportunity for you to just get a free kill. I know this is in the way, but you can break this by using like your Eldritch Whirl and like hitting it, right? Or better yet, you can just run into this center area, drop a demon, or get a knock up, and you're killing something here, right? As long as they see that you're over here brawling. Right now, it's a 6-on-5. This is a huge opportunity for your team, and you need this, right? But we just take a little bit too long, and then if we're gonna engage anyway, we need to not drop here, right? Like, we very, very visibly see the webs here, right? We need to be ulting and then fighting the people in the front that are squishy. These people should not be up here for free, right? This guy turns around and catches you, but it's only because we show so early. You never, never want to do that. And again, now, it's another situation of this is a 5v6, Venom's on his way back. He's going to make it way faster than you are. You do get rocket res, which is great. Okay, so let's talk about this again. Remember when we talked about, like, you have no dog in this fight, right? This is another situation. Well, we'll take a look. Let's look at manpower, right? Fights in this game boil down to, essentially, whenever everybody's playing at the same level, manpower and manpower versus ults and not ults, right? So, if they are 6-on-2, right? And you have every opportunity to leave, right? Even if you ult here, which you won't, and you shouldn't, 6 people, let's say a magic ult is worth 2 people, right? They still have the other 4, right? This is a big problem here for you. And Benny is an ult, so she's just going to be dropping the mines. There's a mine here. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, especially because this guy's dead to rights. And again, we die, and now it's a very, very long run back. Granted, I'm glad that we died this early, rather than dying later on and trying to save our life and then going back for no reason. But now, look at how much space they can just, like, claim for free, right? They lay claim. We also need to be using our ultimate a little bit more sparingly. The only reason you're only ever going to have one ult in this round is because you never used the ult to begin with in any other fight. Whenever you borderline could. In the last fight we went over that was a 6-on-5. You definitely had the opportunity to use it. We just didn't. So now we're in a situation where we could have had another ult. That would have been huge for our team, but we just never gave it the chance. Okay, I like taking this space, but I don't like dashing here. Because, think of it this way, right? Somebody explained this very, very, very easily to me in a comment section, right? Where, now that you've dashed, we'll go ahead and take a look at their teammate, right? You've dashed now, and we've exhausted the cooldown. We can see already the other Magic player now has 3 options, and while you do have the right click and she doesn't, being able to leave a situation is a lot more valuable than not, right? If she 1v1s you, there's a very, very real possibility that you lose this fight just because you don't have your heaviest hitting ability like at your disposal anymore, right? She can one-shot combo you if you burn both of your portals and baits it out. You can't do that. And there's another thing, we're saving the ult still. And we still have it. We're not even giving it the chance. There's more than enough room right here. Right, okay. Now, whether your team wins this point or not, I explained this in the other Magic video, or the Psylocke video we did, right? I want you to consider it in a way of this, right? Now, in terms of this particular match, right? In every fight that we've had, disregarding, in my opinion, the start of the first fight, which I thought, or the start of the fight where I said you should have ulted, where it was a 6-on-5, I think that as the DPS player, you haven't provided much to the table in terms of like use case, right? Because the issue here is that one, we're holding the ultimate in our target situation, like our targeting is kind of rough and we're overstaying a lot. So of maybe give or take the 6 fights that we've seen, you were present with the rest of your team for 1, right? This being the second, but the issue now is, you know, we are just holding our cooldowns so heavy. And they're kind of just letting you run around for free. There's a lot of situations where you could have ulted and you could have immediately just started disrupting their team, right? Like, always give yourself the opportunity to do the most kinds of plays. Magik is a very, very heavy, creativity character. You get a lot of value out of being very weird and dynamic with how you're playing, but we're kind of just playing stock standard, not using our ultimate. You know, we're not doing the big hits, the touchdown plays. This guy messes up, but you can't really rely on these things, right? Okay. Okay. I love taking the space up here. I love not letting them have it. I love this ult. This is a good ult. Nice, you get a kill in the support. Okay. So, I'm not going to stress the mechanics too much, because I think that the issues that we have right here are much more, like, overwhelming than the mechanics space of this fight, right? I don't think that mechanically you lost this game because you didn't do an E correctly or a portal correctly, per se. I do like this idea, and I like the timing of the use, right? You force out the Invisible Woman ult before they can hold it any longer. You kill the Cloak and Dagger, so she's just not present in this fight, so she's not going to have ult after this is over, so you have a very, very big window, right? You disrupt quite a bit. Now, you do die to the Penny Mines, which is kind of a tough scene, but, you know, the big nice thing about this is you have Star-Lord here in the backline, and he's able to follow up, and, you know, while he doesn't end up getting a kill out of it, this was a good play. You provided a lot of opportunity for your team to play off of it, which is great. It's a big kill. That's a big kill. And you're not using the big habit I see a lot of people do in Gold and Platinum, where you're just like, oh, I need this one-shot combo. I need to do the one-shot combo. If I don't, the game is over. Which is good. You're not doing that, which is great. You don't need to always do the combo. You're holding your abilities and you're getting the kills with them whenever you need. But my issue here is that we're not using the opportunities that are, like, very, very presently, you know, given to us, right? Okay. Armed and dangerous. Okay, I love this dive the backline. You could have gone for more, but good demon. I'm okay with you kiting back on the Magik here, because it's you want your as much manpower as you can. Okay, sheet falls. Okay. There were some issues with the final fight, but again, I'm more focused on the macro play, like the fundamental, like, knowledge and plays that you're doing here. I enjoy the ultimate idea that you had, which was way better than before. But off the cusp of the first round, like off the cuff, you know, we can already kind of see our damage is low, but our damage is low because of when we're fighting. Our deaths are incredibly high. 7 is a bit, you know, over the top for a match like this, right? A big thing that I'm seeing is you're dying too late, and by default, because of how late you're dying, you're actually dying more so early in a fight, making every fight a 5v6. Now, your teammates are also to blame for this, but the bigger issue that I'm having is that, you know, you need, at the very end of the day, the unfortunate truth is, you're not gonna hard carry these games unless you're, like, Grandmaster Plus, right? It's gonna be hard for you to do that kind of thing. You are gonna have to get into the habit of kind of being like, I need to play around my team a little bit more, because our deaths are high. 6 is a bit much, you know, for how much we're doing. You did do a lot better on that final push, but we honestly had a lot of opportunities to just make sure that they had way less time. Maybe they don't even get that far, right? But we'll see your second half. We'll see how this goes. Okay, I like this. Go into the left door. Very smart. Much better. I was really worried about you, but you got it. Okay. Okay, we talk about this all the time, right? This has been a very big, like, point that I've been trying to make lately, where you want to take and consider locations in a position of A, B, and C, right? So, that was a good kill on the petty, but now I would really, really like for you to consider the idea of moving up here or up here, right? Take one of them and then make sure they can't have it, because the way that you end up progressing is that you need to break open the middle part, right? This is a shell, and then these are the outside parts of it. Breaking this open is the best way to do that, because this is going to allow you to go up here. You're going to have a lot more angles to dive their supports, especially in this rank. Supports are always going to be out of position. They're always going to be. You need to start exploiting that, because Magik is a very big character that plays off of the weakness of a teammate on the other team. You're going to see a lot of this, even all the way up until Grandmaster, where, you know, somebody is just always not in the correct spot. They're not standing in the right spot. And especially when they're in a position where it's 4 people alive and you have 6, right? They're going to be floundering, right? Looking for a way to get out. But instead, we're kind of poking. We're kind of throwing some, you know, some balls at them. We don't really want to do that. Okay, you dash out. I was about to say. It's good. Because, like, kind of look at what we're doing right here, right? We need to be the dynamo that breaks open this case, right? This has got to come. We have to undo this ourselves. They've got a penny here, but are there supports even playing in the mines? No, like, Cloak and Dagger is kiting backward. Same thing with the rocket. Obviously, you're 9 times out of 10 not going to kill this little rat fuck, but this girl, you can, because nobody in this rank will reactionarily shroud, right? And even if she does, then you can leave, right? Because they're playing pretty far. Magik's all the way up here. This guy's in La La Land. You know, Penny Parker's kiting back out of her webs for one reason or another. So you have a lot of situations. Imagine if we were up here, right? Like, just standing up here. That we see 3 bodies and they're not even looking at us, but instead we're kind of far. Always give yourself the option to do more than just one thing. Because right now we're just kind of we're defaulting Andy. We're just kind of doing one thing and hoping it works. We don't want to make the games a coin flip. We want to secure a win for sure. This is real firepower. Okay. Okay. That was an okay thing, but the thing that I really want to make clear is that that play was great, and we ended up getting 2 kills, but it was a very big chance that it managed to happen, right? Okay, we missed the dash, no biggie. We back up. I like the backup. I like you going on the rocket. Not too bad. Okay. Alright. This is another one of those let's press tab and look, right? We're portaling at them. Let's press tab. And then let's turn around, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1's in the chamber for 5, right? So it's a 1 on 6 here. Like, or sorry, it's a 1 on 4 with 5 coming in shortly, right? But the issue is that, like, yeah, she's low. She's healing her, though. But, like, my larger issue is, like, not gonna die. Not gonna die. So it's more of, like, you're fighting 2 people that are gonna stonewall you, and you have a chance at killing maybe one of them, because this Magik is probably gonna back up, right? You're gonna throw the projectile, and because we're under the Groot wall, we eat that all day. We just explode and die. So, but now, like, take a look at where's our Groot, right? They've got to wait on your death timer for you to come home, because now you're dead. And now it's a 5-on-6, right? Now it's impossible for the most part because they've just got more utility. Okay. Another thing. I want us to start ulting more. We need to not hold this thing because you need this point. 130 is not much time. You don't have a lot of time at 1 minute 30 seconds. If something goes wrong, do you lose another fight? That's death's door. You have one chance. You need to make sure that this works out. You need to ult. I want you to go over here on this right side, maybe behind this ambulance, something, and then ultimate, and then just start breaking up their backline so they don't have that structure. If we want to consider the backline as being like the foundation, and then everything crumbles soon after that is gone. That is something we need to get rid of it. Penny dies lucky. Very, very good. See what this Magik is doing to us right now? We just killed Penny. There's no reason why we should ever be in this situation off one ultimate. But this could have been your team, right? Now, because this Magik is ulting, it's now such a more even fight. She kills 2. Now he ults soon after. Boom. Automatically, the fight is just over. And guess what? We'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit. When do we come off spawn? We have a minute left, right?
Only 60 seconds left. Get that vehicle moving again. Spider box. Major damage. Really? Secure that spider nest. You owe me.
Mantis ults. Do we ult? Okay. We gotta... Okay. I know I wasn't gonna talk about this, right? But your cooldowns are on such a fast timer in this mode. We gotta start popping that. We just start going. Start popping it and walk into their backline for free. Because this Penny Parker being up here, they shouldn't be allowed to live anymore, right? Like, this Cloak and Dagger, that's fish food. The supports have to die. If that Cloak and Dagger does not die and she gets ult here, you will lose this point because you're using all of your utility for this push. You need to go kill both their supports now.
This is real firepower.
Ooh. Okay, we actually do end up getting her, which is great. Okay, we did not go in on the mat. Okay, we have to talk about this. So, I think you thought that Groot was going to kill her, but he doesn't, and because you fight this demon instead of fighting the Magik, right? She actually breaks free because Groot can't do enough damage because the rocket heals her, and kills your Star-Lord as a product of that. And now, because of this, we end up losing the game. Because we didn't kill the Magik and we didn't keep this fight alive, that is a big part of why this game is just a complete loss, right? Because now we'll go ahead and see their team counter ults, and the Magik starts going insane and killing everybody. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I know this game seems like it was hard, probably because of this girl right here, Penny. But in all actuality, in a lot of times that she had her mines down, we were in a more than favorable position to just walk at the enemy backline or just break this all together with a demon. So that's a pretty big deal. I don't think Penny Parker is the reason that this game turned out this way, but in a terms of like how much did we contribute, right? Because while I don't think that stats are always the thing that matters, final hits and deaths are very, very crucial because they show a lot more of the story than the other stats. I don't care if you have 13k damage so long as you have 18 final hits. You know, that's a little bit exaggeratory, but you see what I mean, right? Having 9 final hits as compared to the 21 that the Magik has, and she might be smurfing, but even so, the reason why this went as tough as it did for us is because we were not really being very dynamic with how we were moving. You need to be a little bit more creative. You know, I want people to start if they watch this video, You cannot just play Magic as a dive, and you cannot just play Magic as a brawl. You have to throw both in. And whenever you start to do that, give yourself as many opportunities to do everything as you can, and that is how the character will start to work like an oiled machine and do much better for you. But I also need you, a big thing, brother. We've gotta ult. We have to press our ult button, because if we don't ultimate, we're not even giving ourselves the chance to do anything. Because the cloak and dagger dies, or the rocket dies, then what more do they have, right? That's a big thing. I'm not gonna harp on your mechanics or anything as much, because I don't really think that matters. You can climb all the way up to like plat, in my opinion, with like okay to less than average mechanics. It's the macro play that wins these games, and I think that because we weren't not doing the big cheese plays, that is ultimately what set us back, right? And that is what I need you to understand. Otherwise, you'll probably do okay and you'll climb, but we gotta first, before we worry about any mechanics, we got to work on this like ultimate issue, and we got to work on our like where are we pathing to in a team fight. And a big thing is we got to figure out how we can stop dying as late in the fight. I love you guys so much. I hope that this video was super helpful. Thank you, Skeleton, so much for the chance to VOD review this for a video. I I have a stream tonight again. I just haven't had a time to make content because of Valentine's Day. I was on a little bit of a date. So I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Later. Bye.